if you're not willing to at least look at what AI can do for your business right now, you're probably not going to be in business in a year.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Durienzo.
I'm Ryan Morency.
And we're here today to talk about not a client we're going to name yet. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But here's the thing. It doesn't really matter. We're going to talk about somebody that we're working with who has a very specific set of needs and wants, and their model we can talk about, and their delivery we can talk about. And we don't have to say a name because, let's be honest, do you care about a name of a local business to where we are in New England? Not really.
No, and ultimately it doesn't matter. And we're going to talk a little bit generically about that industry. And the things that we're going to talk about are non-specific to that.
This business delivers service to clients. Again, it doesn't particularly matter what the service is. It can be lesson-based. It can be beautification-based. It can be, I think about contractors. They deliver a service. Yes, there's a product in that, like the way my kitchen looks at the end. But at the end of the day, it's the service that they provide on the way there. And that's what we're really going to be discussing and really kind of leaning into how they interface with clients. Because that, we know, small business owners really care about.
Yeah, and this company is also, in this specific case, there's multiple locations, right? So it's a lot to manage from just a human staffing standpoint, a manager standpoint. So as a business owner, overseeing a bunch of different locations, there's people to manage there, and we'll get into that as we get into the kind of the nitty gritty there. But ultimately, anytime you have to manage one person, 10 people, your time dramatically goes down. Managing other people is a big time suck. And so if there's both mentally and time, right? Yeah. It's exhausting.
Emotionally.
Yeah, all the things for sure. People management is tough. And again, as we've talked about this in a previous video, as business owners, we don't get into business or start a business to manage other people. We do it to do whatever that passionate thing is that a business owner has or whatever they're trying to build, right?
Yeah, agreed. Old joke from family members of the hardest part of running a business is dealing with the humans.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to deal with the humans. That's really not a thing you can avoid unless you're just sitting at a computer and I think about Neo in the Matrix, just coding all the time. And again, if that's your job, then that's your job. Great. Actually, no, he had a desk job. Now that I think of it.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, at some point you're interacting, you're dealing with humans, right? So if you are a service-based business, most likely, and God, I really hope you do, you have some sort of CRM, customer resource management. I'm going to use the word software here, but let's be honest. If you're a solopreneur like I am, early days, yeah, we had a CRM. It was pretty crap. It was basically just to move money back and forth and like for contract management. Actually emailing people, it was way before Monkey, Chimp, Mail, whatever existed. What was that called?
Oh, MailChimp.
MailChimp.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah.
Long before MailChimp existed, I think I was like a batch on Yahoo until Yahoo like yelled at me for doing it 20 years ago.
Yep. And for those that don't know, MailChimp is just a mass email mailing service when you're doing marketing emails. It just sends out stuff to 10,000 people all at the same time.
Monkey MailChimp.
Yeah.
Okay. And you may be doing that, right? I have plenty of contacts who are contractors, and they do everything through their phone. And it probably, what's their tech stack? It's their phone contact manager. It's their text message. They go back, look through their text messages. Yep. Maybe if they're super savvy, they have a Gmail calendar running.
Yeah, or like a spreadsheet to track incoming leads maybe. And a spreadsheet's fine at a low volume, but as soon as you get in a lot of lead flow or even a moderate amount of lead flow, a spreadsheet becomes untenable.
You start having to deal with too many plates spinning at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
You're juggling.
Here are the projects I'm trying to finish up. Here are the projects that I'm working on full blast. Here's the projects I'm about to start. And then here's the 15 possible clients, projects, whatever it is. Like it's too much to manage. You need something that collates it all together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the need for some version of a CRM. We have over 250 members at my academy. We need a CRM to manage that, and mine happens to do the email and do the text and have automation engine and has a calendar. It obviously does billing as well. Has some promotional stuff inside it, so it's pretty robust. But where are the things going forward that it's not yet offering to us as clientele? And that's not really what we're here to talk about today, but we will hit on it a little bit. But for this other client, they're in a very similar boat. It does the billing stuff and it does managing of multiple locations, which is great for them. Mine does too. It does individual service providers within those individual business. So like you have a brick and mortar, but you have multiple people within it delivering a service to those people. How do you manage all of these cogs? Oh, and product management, which most CRMs have some version of that. Some are better and more robust. Some of them are like pretty skimpy. But how do we get better and more convergent conversation with prospects and ongoing clients? If you're a business owner, I hate sales. Let me say that emphatically. I hate sales. However, my business doesn't exist without sales.
Yeah.
So when I use the word upsell, let me just shrug that off. That can be a huge thing for your business, right? Your business might live on upsells.
Yeah.
So how and where can that be integrated? And that's something we're working on with this client.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the tool, so the problem that we're trying to solve is the tool does 3/4 of what they want it to do, but that last 25% is a massive pain point for this client, right? And without getting into the specific details, right? The ultimate pain point there is appointment setting and appointment booking, upselling clients on additional services, and just to kind of riff off of what Paul was saying, right? When we talk about upselling, a lot of times the baseline service kind of pays the bills, keeps the lights on, things like that. And a lot of times the upsell is the bread and butter profits that help keep a business going forward and growth and things like that, right? So upselling's huge. Appointment setting.
Appointment reminders is one of the big ones too.
Yes,
That's a huge one as well. Again, a lot of the automation elements have something along that set into it. But in that reminder, if you were the type, this doesn't work in my industry. We have one exactly and only one upsell. And I would not, it's not eligible to you. We'll talk about that in another video, but it's not even eligible to you for the first 6 months of being a part of my academy. But if you had I don't know, let's say I owned a massage studio, I might want you going home with all these products. When I throw that reminder at you, hey, don't forget tomorrow at noontime you have your, hot rock massage or whatever it is, hot stone massage, and make sure to ask me about the whiz bang product that will make your shoulders feel great later, whatever it's called. That can be a huge thing as well because you're constantly planting that seed.
Right.
Does your software do that for you? Can it do that for you?
Yeah.
And then, does it apply in my industry? I think it will in the future. What if you want to be available on the phone 24 hours a day? You want it to be reactive. You want it to be really smoothly conversational. You want it to recognize the client's phone number when they call and make it personal. This exists.
Yeah.
It exists now. There are some CRMs in this particular industry for the client that we're working with that's what they do. And our client CRM doesn't.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about where that may be a big stumbling point. It says around there with the CRM's mindset around the need for it or the possibility of it, and some of their information was like about 18 months old.
Yeah,
and that is 18 years ago as far as the speed this stuff is moving.
Yeah, and just to call it out, right, is we're talking about leveraging AI for this company, right? So an AI voice agent to answer the phone, talk to prospective clients, schedule them to come in, upsell them on services, and things like that. And AI voice agents, yes, 18 months ago, they were just starting to come out. They didn't sound natural. There's pauses in there. It doesn't sound like a conversational thing. But nowadays, AI voice agents are vastly different. And we've seen proof where AI voice agents can book calls and interact with your CRM. And, and CRMs typically, especially in a service-based industry, if it's set up properly, when you answer the phone, it pulls up information about that client. So you can see, that client 6 months ago got a hot rock massage and maybe that is now overdue. Obviously we're using a weird example there, but that pops up when you talk to somebody on the phone. And whether it's a person sitting there and then tries to upsell them on a new hot rock massage versus going back and saying, oh, hey, an AI agent can look at that when it pops up on the CRM, just like a human being can. And if it can have that same conversation, then now you're not managing a person sitting there. That AI agent doesn't get tired. They can answer the phone at 10 o'clock at night when the business owner might be in bed, or late night owl, like out to dinner with their wife or whatever, and you don't want to answer the phone, but that might be...
Or just in shutdown mode. It's Saturday night. I don't want to have to, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a bit of a break. Like, that's a thing. Yeah. But again, we talked in one of our previous videos about, like, as a business owner, like, you can't to a certain extent. Right. I understand you can, and I understand you should. Yeah. But also,
in this day and age, if you're not doing it, somebody else is. Right. And that lead, that client, that prospect is going to go somewhere else. Because nowadays, there's very little... what I'm trying to think of.
There's opportunity. Somebody's ready to fill the gap.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's little brand, like back in the day, you used to find a company that you wanted to work with and you'd stick with them, or a service. Thank you, brand loyalty. Brain fart. There's no brand loyalty nowadays. So somebody's going to Google search whatever it is they're after. They're going to start at the top and they're going to work their way down. And if you don't answer that call, even if it's at 9 o'clock at night, somebody else behind you that has an AI voice agent that can answer the phone at 9 o'clock at night and capture that lead, they're going to get that business.
There's especially, we're talking about prospects, right?
Yeah.
There's especially no brand loyalty for prospects.
That too.
There's brand awareness,
right?
But that's your marketing team, and we can talk in other future videos about how to leverage AI for that. We're working on that currently in a separate project. But a prospect has no brand loyalty. They awareness, but not loyalty. So how do you both leverage for new prospects?
Yes.
To work this upsell? And I was thinking a relevant example for myself. My landscaper, springtime, they're doing spring cleanup, and he waited until he arrived to ask me if he wanted to do wood chips.
Right.
If he had texted me ahead of time, if he had the wherewithal to do that kind of stuff, like if he texted me ahead of time, I might have been like ready to send, all right, give me the $100, whatever it was, to I don't know what wood chips cost, but whatever that extra cost is, would have been better prepped to better land for me instead of like in the moment, it's already $500, now not $100. I'm less likely to say yes because I'm not warmed up in the conversation.
Not only that,
I can do this.
Not only that, but what we talked about this morning too, right? Like there's a whole group of people right now that are scared of AI and they're not spending money, right? So if you try to surprise somebody with a bill, most people operate on budgets and money's tight and they're worried about financial stuff. Yep. So getting in front of them ahead of time before the appointment gives them a chance to think about it, budget into it. Hey, you know what? I really want that. Can I afford it? And it gives them that time to settle into it. And you're not going to upsell everybody, but you've got a much better chance of upselling them a couple days before the appointment than you do right there in front of them and say, hey, give me more money.
Right. So speaking specifically to the client we shall not name and the CRM we also shall not name, I feel like we're talking about Voldemort.
Yeah,
here.
right.
As we talk about that, we went into a consultation phone call, Zoom, I guess, and we kind of, glad-handed for 15, 20 minutes as people do. They talked to the client, our client, of what they were working on, all this kind of stuff. And then, since they had a feeling of where we wanted to go, which was...
Just to reframe this, to give a little bit extra context, right? So we're talking with the CRM company for this business that we're not naming because we're trying to add on these features that the client wants that the CRM does not currently do, right? So we're trying to talk to this company to see, is it in your roadmap? If it's coming in a month, then we don't need to build it. And those types of, sorry. So I just
it's a thank you, backstory. And the backstory exists in my head and not on this video. So really good point. That I had been speaking to this person for, 2 years about the advent of the AI stuff, what it could do. And we got to the point where they tested something out with somebody else working on AI. They really liked what it did. And then it turned out it did not integrate with their CRM. I had a conversation with them being like, well, there's this thing called Cowork now that can go and control your computer, and it no longer matters if your CRM has an API because it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. Like the software doesn't have to directly talk to it because the software can control as long as you have a web-based browser CRM.
Sure.
it can control for it.
And
Yep.
double click into that really quick too, right? Like when we're talking about one tool talking to another tool, there's a thing out there Paul mentioned briefly called an API. And it's basically instructions so one service can talk to another service and they can interact and do stuff together, right?
They're using
and
the
so
same language, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so when I think about an AI voice agent, it needs to have that API to be able to tie into that tool to do things with it. And that tool at the time of that experiment did not have those API connections.
By the way, we're only talking about 8 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Very short amount of time.
Eight months ago, they couldn't do this. There was no way to do it.
Right.
8 months later, OpenClaw, Claude, Cowork, Google apparently is about to drop. They're calling it agent mode.
I don't remember.
It doesn't exist currently, but they've already done something in Apple, which kind of makes it happen. We all know ChatGPT can't be far behind because this is where things are going. You can control locally on your system that can control all the things on the computer. So the question came to me was...
kind of like what we talked about, right? A person sitting in front of your computer before, AI couldn't do that. You could sit down, you could talk to it and things like that, but it couldn't look at your computer and see what's on your screen. Now, with tools like Claude Cowork and all these other agent tools that we're talking about, it now can be installed on a local computer and can see what's on my screen. It'll take a screenshot of it, it'll look at it, it can see in the CRM all of the information a human being can see now when sitting down behind a computer, which wasn't available 8 months ago when the API didn't exist.
So I had this conversation over breakfast one day, and that is, wow, there's a way to do this? Okay, can we sit down and chat?
Yeah.
We sit down and chat. We end up on the Zoom call with the CRM and things that we're dealing with. So the service clientele is very kind of beholden to the CRM. They have a relationship, long-standing. They really like each other. They like what the software does. However, this is where we're being delicate. The CRM is not currently super interested in adding AI.
Yeah.
They're looking at it. Right now, we're sitting in April of 2026. They were talking about, well, by Q3 or Q4, 6-9 months from now, we're going to then start looking into it because we looked at it 2 years ago and it didn't make sense.
Right.
But 2 years ago, and this is 20 years ago, and every other thing that we've ever done because the speed at which stuff is dropping is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane how fast things are moving.
Yeah.
So we're now working with the client. Do we duct tape and bolt on a Cowork and multiple locations and then a voice agent that can get all this stuff done?
Right.
Or do we simply say, hey, this other CRM's already doing it.
Right.
And they may not be the one that your relationship beholden to, but it exists.
Yeah. And as a business owner, change is hard, right? Like, especially a CRM, right? It runs a lot of your business and organizes your sales pipeline.
It's so much work doing. I've gone through 5 CRMs in 20 years.
And
I don't ever want to do it again. It's like moving. You get to your like forever house. You're like, I'm never boxing this crap up again.
Never touching this ever again. So I get it. Like changing something out that your team is used to, everybody's used to, and you've been using it for 10 years, whatever. It's tough to move away from that. But in this day and age, again, we talk about if you're not growing, if you're not evolving, you're falling behind. I hate to use the word dying, but you're falling behind. And
right word,
that was kind of the vibe that we got from this CRM is they weren't willing to make a lot of those changes until they saw some better proof in the pudding. But in this case, I think it's just a lack of looking.
Now, I don't know if this was a Hail Mary at the end, but they said to us, hey, we'd love to work with you guys in the future on this stuff. And I'm like, well, I think I might recommend that they move away from you, but that's just me.
Yeah.
They seem kind of stick in the mud about it,
right.
Which is funny for a tech company.
Yeah.
They're small. It's a small tech company, right? I think there's only like 5 employees working there, but they are delivering to quite a few clients.
Yeah.
And they're just, I was talking to some friends last night, and one of them is a programmer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, but he's older. He's over 50 years old, and he's kind of like poo-pooing where AI is going with this stuff. And I'm like, I have run into that a ton. I've run into people that are programmers that are poo-pooing where this stuff is going. And I'm like, guys, are you not seeing this other... Here's some videos to go watch.
Yeah. And just to level set, right? There's plenty of reasons why, there's plenty of things about AI that's not spectacular, right?
Correct.
We've all seen AI slop videos online, environmental concerns, costs, power, all infrastructure needed to run these things. And I'm not saying AI is the best thing since sliced bread, and it's going to change a lot of things. And sure, there's drawbacks to it, but you were not putting the AI genie back in the bottle. Like and
it's in its infancy.
Right, exactly. It's just starting. So if you're not if you're not willing to at least look at what AI can do for your business right now, you're probably not going to be in business in a year.
I agree.
I mean, that's unfortunate to say, and I hate saying it as a small business owner, but AI is going to change the landscape of how people do business, from marketing, from lead capturing, all of it, everything. AI is going to change the business, and it's making leaps and bounds. And if you're not keeping up with it, every single month, something drastically new changes and improves. Like, I get it. A voice agent 2 years ago didn't sound normal and human, but that's different now. And if you're not willing to keep up with that, you're going to fall behind.
I agree. Example just from last night and this morning, we're talking about a Seed Dance dropped 2 months ago.
Yep.
And 2 years ago, we were laughing at Will Smith eating spaghetti videos.
Right.
At how ridiculously terrible they were.
Yeah.
And now Hollywood is wetting their collective diapers over the fact that this video looks like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt or whatever.
Yeah.
We're fighting on a rooftop, and it's like, that looks really good. And it's only 18 months later since Will Smith was feeding spaghetti in his ear or whatever was
You
happening.
can actually even find the progression of that video.
Yes, I've seen
like
that.
The
Yes.
Will Smith 4 years ago.
Did you see the last one where Will
Smith
Smith was fighting a spaghetti monster? Yeah, that was
right. But like at the end of the day, what we're trying to get across is that AI is changing. It's evolving very rapidly. So if you're making decisions about how AI performed 8 months ago, you're wrong.
You're wrong. I agree.
There's no other way to say that.
I agree. We will keep you guys abreast of where we go with this, right? Because this video, this channel, it's about learning with us and moving and opening and developing with us, right? I'm learning. I'm the brick and mortar guy. I get thrown for a living. I throw people for a living. And the speed is mind-boggling at the developmental rate of this stuff. So,
and I've been using AI for years, for I don't even know now, 3-4 years, maybe longer. And,
sounds like forever.
And I still can't call myself an expert because it's constantly changing. I'm constantly learning a new thing. Like, we're just now getting Cowork set up and leveraging that tool. And there's always something new coming out, and you have to stay on top of it.
It's only a matter of time until Cowork's on your phone.
Yeah.
Something along that lines is on your phone. It's not far away.
I mean, even now, I can talk to my phone, which sends a message to my computer, which is running Cowork, to go do things. So I could be on my way to the dojo to work out and say, oh, I need to organize the screenshots in blah, blah, blah folder. And I can send a message to my phone that sends to my computer in the office that's always on running this, and it will go and do it. So when I get done working out and I get home, I have a folder of screenshots already organized.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's also coming in a video soon.
Yeah, we're doing that right now, actually.
We are literally working on that. We got a lot of things, a lot of irons in the fire. So
for sure.
But we'll keep you guys abreast of this. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe and do the like things. We're probably bad at promotion.
Yeah, probably.
Because again, I'm working on one business. He's working on another business. We're working on a third business.
We juggle it a lot, just like everybody else.
We don't like marketing ourselves.
All the stuff. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and join us on the journey. We've got a lot more coming.
We'll see you guys very soon.
Thanks.